All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So, hello and welcome to the importance of understanding lead nurturing. My name is Neda and I am your host for this afternoon. I'm going to talk about lead nurturing, which is my favorite subject. So let's begin. What we're going to talk about today is what is lead nurturing and why it's important to the success of your business. I guess marketing. That's what happens when you move some stuff. Second one, we're going to talk about what are the fundamentals of lead nurturing strategy. The third one, I'm going to go through 5 steps to creating a lead nurturing campaign. And then we get to Q&A. If you have any questions, please write them down. And when we get to the end, I will answer all of them. We'll spend time together. We don't have to, I know it's an hour, and we don't have to leave if you have questions. All right, so you must be wondering, so why should I listen to you? A bit about me. I built and sold 2 service businesses of my own. I have my 3rd business at the moment. I do Facebook marketing and advertising. I am a Facebook marketing and advertising specialist, which I've been doing that since 2018. I mobilized my team and I mobilized Fiona Stanley Hospital for opening in October. I think it was 2014. My team and I mobilized Eastern Goldfield Prison in Kalgoorlie, which was a brand new prison. I've got 20 years experience in entrepreneurship, business, sales and marketing, leadership and project management. And I'm a business and marketing advisor to startup and small businesses, as you know, part of Business Station, and I've been doing that since 2019. So a bit about me. So let's start with this training. The first one, what is lead nurturing and why it's important to the success of your marketing? So lead nurturing is an important it's important to your marketing. It's because it's your opportunity to provide value to your leads and customers and help them grow with your business. So as a small business owners, and I get that a lot as to how do I connect with my prospect? The question comes in as to how do I connect with my prospect and turn them into customers in the most helpful way. We've got to remember we have moved into social selling. I don't know if you guys have heard about, guys and girls, my apologies, if you have heard about the social selling, that we are moving away with direct marketing. There are people who believe in cold callings. I've never done it since the 20 years that I've been in the business, but I love this concept of social selling. But the question comes up is, how do I connect with my prospect and turn them into the paying customers in the most helpful way? And that's where lead nurturing comes in. So lead nurturing is the process of building relationship with your prospect with the goal of earning their business when they are ready. So the most important part is when they are ready. So in practice, lead nurturing it's a marketing effort, focuses on engaging with your leads and customers in a way that encourages them to progress through a specific action. And that's where your sales process comes in. You must have heard it as a sales funnel. I call it sales process, but everyone calls it sales funnels, where you take them through this journey. When they're ready, they become your customers. So again, what exactly is lead nurturing? So lead nurturing is a timely, efficient, and targeted approach to connecting with your contacts. And by taking this kind of approach, you can deliver helpful content with the right context. So let's talk about each one of the processes that you go through. The first aspect is a timeliness. One problems that business owners and marketers face is finding the right time to connect with the leads and prospect. And again, one problem that your leads or your prospect face is to be contacted in the wrong time. We all been there. We all get a message, get a message in the wrong time. And it's sort of, it pushes, like, he has our backup when that happens. So it's actually, it's a test and learn situation for all of them. So timing is very important, and it can be delivered through automation software. So when I talk about automation software, I don't know if you probably know, and you've heard about this before. It's a software that exists, and the goal of it is to automating your marketing actions. You know, as a business owner, there's so much repetitive work involved in running a business, which, for example, email marketing, sending emails, or social media alone. That alone, it seems like a repetitive work, or the work you do on your website. So using the automations softwares, you can actually trigger event to happen after, when the contact or lead or even your customers take a certain action. Sometimes could be, as a marketer, I know that we can trigger something when someone lands on a specific website or a specific page of my clients, or they actually they request more information, or they book a session with the client. And funny enough, like in the product world, if they buy certain product, that again is a trigger that we create a campaign, a lead nurturing campaign. So it depends on where they are, obviously. So the timing part is very important. So marketing automation software doesn't help you be, it doesn't just help you to be timely, but it helps you to automate and be very efficient. This brings us to the second aspect of lead nurturing, and that's being timely. So I'm going to show you something. HubSpot found that the odds of leads becoming a qualified are 21. Let me repeat that. HubSpot found that odds of lead becoming qualified are 21 times greater when they contacted within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. So just imagine how 5 minutes versus 30 minutes increases the chances of them buying from you or becoming a lead, putting their hand up and said, I want to deal with you, I want to get to know you, or I want to learn more about you. 21 times. So these types of speed is possible through automation softwares, the task, and reducing the time yourself or your salesperson has to spend qualifying these customers and warming them up to take them through your funnel. So this gets the job done for you. It does most of the heavy lifting for you to make sure that you are connecting through helpful content, connecting with leads through sales faster, and reviewing data to continue optimizing your effort. This is very, very important, and it's amazing. It's fascinating how we we like to hear from the businesses have actually shortened between 5 to 30 minutes. It's not, if you think about it, it's actually not much time, but it increases 21%. But I don't want to overwhelm you and you think, oh wow, I don't know what to do now. So this is just a study is done, and it is a work in progress if you're a small business, especially when you're a startup. So as part of this, when you have automation in place, and when I say you can actually concentrate on your content and optimize what works in your business, it always, in other words, it actually, you become a human, you're helpful, and you have a holistic approach. You are holistic with your approach towards your client. Your marketing automation doesn't do marketing and lead generation for you, but it can scale your effort and increase the value you provide to your contacts in more efficiently. Just remember, 21 times, I think it's crazy between 5 or 30 minutes. So now timeliness and efficiency together brings us to the third part, which is targeted. So targeted, which means targeting your leads in the right way. By using lead nurturing, you can tie a series of emails to a specific activity that your lead takes, or a specific activity or conversion event. Just quickly though, when we actually do the lead nurturing, it doesn't, we'll go at the end, I'll go quickly throw it at the end of this slide as to, I'm not just talking about lead, we are talking about lead nurturing, but they're part of the lead nurturing or part of the nurturing and targeted nurturing. It actually applies to your existing clients as well, or new clients. But in this case, so by using lead nurturing, you can tie a series of emails to a specific activity or conversion event. In other words, you can craft your emails based on the action your lead and customers take. This shows that you are aware of their interests, you know their pain point, you're showing them that I can see you. As a business owner, I can see you and I know what you need. So when you're connecting with your contact, you want to be a human. Again, we're going back to the social selling. You want to be as human as possible. So being a human is what builds trust, and trust is what helps you become successful in your business. So target your lead in the right way. Successful lead nurturing helps you focus on providing value to your leads by offering them the information they need at the right time. This right time is so important. So the good lead nurturing adapts the messaging to stay relevant and helps you win new customers faster. Again, good lead nurturing helps you keep up with conversation with your contact. This is so important in an era of social selling and how social media are actually taken over small businesses or any size business marketing. So good lead nurturing helps you continue to connect after they become your customers. Lead nurturing doesn't just it doesn't stop as they come in through your funnels. It's actually in the process of, if you look at the journey, the buying journey, the engagement part of wherever it is, either coming through your funnels or even they bought from you, the engagement part is where you can actually put good lead nurturing processes in place. So this is where you see success with your lead nurturing. You provide this value to your customers and they give you value in return, helping you grow your business. This is where you see success with leads. It's the best of both worlds. Growth for your leads, like you help them, they grow, and ultimately you grow with them. Because it's just a matter of, this has always been my business motto. If I help you win, I'm ultimately going to win. If I don't help you, if I don't help my customers win, then it means I'm not going to be winning. So second part, what are the fundamentals of lead nurturing strategy? So let's talk about that. Your lead nurturing, my apologies. Your lead nurturing strategy will be the foundation you build successful lead nurturing campaign upon. Knowing what you need to do before you map out your campaign or before you map out your strategy will help you develop a clear path for yourself, or if you have a team, to create a campaign that adds value to your leads and to your customers. So it's very, very important. If you attend any of my workshops, there is a continuous thing that says always be closing. In a world of marketing and sales, everyone talks about you always have to be closing. For me, you always have to be strategic. For everything you do, there has to be a strategy in place. Tactics are fine. What to post and what to say, what copy. Tactics are absolutely fine. But if you combine it with a good strategy, your business always grows and you look after your customers at the same time, because you have their best interest in mind, and you think about how you can help them. So another fact, which is amazing, it takes 6 to 8 touches. This is from HubSpot as well. It takes around 6 to 8 touches to generate a viable sales lead. So that's 6 to 8 content that your leads interact with before they become a qualified lead. So when you're building strategy to turn your leads into the paying customers, you got to remember on average there's 6 to 8 touch point that they will go through, and that applies. And it's not just your email marketing; it has everything to do with your social media, wherever your customers interact with you. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, this includes everything. So you got to remember that when you posting something, you got to remember that could be another 6 or 8 content needs to accompany this in order for the customer to go through that journey. We probably have to talk about customer journey. I hope you understand, what customer journey is as to when we start from an awareness stage. So I might actually quickly talk about customer journey. So we go through, where am I? Okay, so just quickly, the customer journey, we will talk about it again later on, but I want to share something with you. With the customer journey, we need to make sure that we understand where they are, because it starts from awareness. Sometimes they actually start in the marketing world, it starts from when they have no idea. So if you go so deep that sometimes we go to with my clients, if you need to go so deep, there are sometimes that there is a challenge and customers have no idea that there is an issue, or there is a challenge, like probably something that David does. So sometimes we have no idea that there is this we are doing, that there is a solution for it. So then we're not even problem aware. So then it becomes, we are problem aware, we're not solution aware. So these are the stages. Then become, we are problem aware and then solution aware. And then we're aware that it's you who provides that solution. Then we ask questions and we convert them and become paying customers. So these are the stages that you need to consider when you're creating when you're creating your strategy. Okay. Oh. So it takes 6 to 8 touches to generate that viable sales lead. So your marketing automation software and your conversation, which includes, like I talked about, includes things like emails, live chats, Facebook Messenger, and social, wherever they interact with you, will work together to fuel your lead nurturing strategy. Conversion plays a critical role in lead nurturing because there are how you deliver your message to your contact. So when you're armed with your automation software and your conversion tools, you can then develop a strategy to create a lead nurturing campaign for your business. So remembering that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So anything you do, you have to have a goal. You have to make sure that there is an end goal. There has to be a goal in this strategy. Whatever you do, you have to remember what this thing is going to do for you. There are 3 elements of lead nurturing strategy, which is the contact management, segmentation, and the buyer's journey. Let's look at each of them separately. One is contact management. So contact management is a strategy that focuses on using a software program to easily store and source a contact's information, including their names, contact history, email information, and so much more. So you probably heard about this, the contact management softwares. If you've heard, they call them CRMs. So that's another word for those softwares and automation software. So contact management includes everything from having a program that helps you create contacts to create a contact database, to managing the database properly. Because Contacts are the heart of your marketing and sales strategies. You must have heard this before. Did you get your email address? Do you have email address? Are you getting their details? This is so important. So to create a successful lead nurturing campaigns, you need to understand who your contacts are. You learn more about them in the other two elements that we're going to talk about. But contact management, to store their details and store them somewhere, is very important. This is something that I always say. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn advertising, they are great platforms. There is no other platform like Facebook to bring customers in. But I don't want you to build your business. And I tell that to my clients. I don't want you to build your business on Facebook. I want you to have something in the background, your website, which is your home, and a CRM or some contact management that we can capture all those details. Because you got to remember, Facebook can actually change their mind and change their algorithm, which they do very often. And you might actually have to pay to actually see those people. So it's very important to have that contact management in place. The second element of lead nurturing strategy is segmentation. So as the name suggests, is exactly how it is. It's segmenting them based on where they are in their buyer's journey. So the lead nurturing is the happy marriage between the content and the context. And that's segmentation, and that's what segmentation helps you with. If they're just starting out, if they're just aware of their problem and if they're just aware of their problems, what you create and what for them as a nurturing strategy, it's very different for someone who's already aware of the problem, who knows that your solution is the best solution for their problem, and they just want more information. So that's why it's very important for you to segment it. Then you actually show your clients and your prospects or your leads that you see them. Your business is the best business for them, and it has the best solution for them, because you can hear them, you can see them, and you're there to help them to achieve their goals. The third part is the buyer's journey. So after both your contact management and segmentation in place, you can move into the last element, an effective lead nurturing strategy, which is your buyer's journey. This is where you define different audiences that you send email to or create social media marketing, social media posts. When defining a different audience, you want to look at two things: customer avatar and the buyer's journey. So the customer avatar, if you're aware, is this it's this fiction. If this is the person, it's either someone, if you are a startup, it's someone who you made up, or if you already have a customer, it's the customer that you want to have more of. And then another one considering is the buyer's journey. I cannot stop emphasizing how important it is for you to know, as part of your success of lead nurturing, for you to know who they are and where they are in their buyer's journey. Okay, last one, which is 5 steps to creating a lead nurturing campaign. So lead nurturing uses automation tools that we talk about to help you to get to specific goals. There are 5 steps that I go through with my clients, and I want you to use it as well. It doesn't have to be, if you think, oh, hang on, but my business is not that big. You can actually make it as simple as possible for yourself. But I want you to go through these steps for yourself. It has nothing to do with the size of your business. So 5 steps we go through is setting goals, selecting your customer's avatar, creating content, identifying timeline, and measuring and improving it. So first is to setting goals. This is so important. Determining what you want to accomplish is the first step, because without a goal, you just don't know if you're successful or not. You just, I don't know, you have your eyes covered and you just throw your dart. I've placed dart with my eyes covered. I'm very bad with the game of dart, let alone covering my eyes, but you just do it sometimes. So if you don't know where you're actually aiming, you don't know if you are successful or not. So setting goal as to creating lead nurturing campaign is very, very important. The second one, after defining this goal, you need to know who the contacts are that will going through your lead nurturing campaign. This is the persona selection. So selecting your customers, this is where you select who is it that you want to actually target. This lead nurturing campaign is for. You don't have to have one customer. For every customer you have, for every customer avatar you have, you can create a different lead nurturing campaign. So when you set your goals, you need to then select which one of these avatars this goal applies to. So when you actually determined who is the audience, then it comes creating content for them. The idea behind lead nurturing is to nurture leads through the funnel first, to make them more educated and more ready to buy. Instead of pitching your product or services is the greatest things ever, which I'm sure it is, but you should first provide value. And I can guarantee you, I'm not the first one who's saying that. The next one. So once you have your content sorted, now we're going to identify the areas to repurpose content and so once you have the content outlined and identify the areas to repurpose content, you can move into the next step of your lead nurturing campaign, which is identifying timeline, which you are sending it. Remember, one of the most beneficial aspects of lead nurturing is timeliness. So it's such a crucial step for your identifying as to when to send this campaign to these people, to these clients. The reason if they, for example, if they just put their hand up because they want to get more information, because they don't know, they are in the stage of they're problem aware, but they're not solution aware, you want to send them information to educate them about the solution they have. If they already are problem aware, solution aware, and they already know who you are and what you offer, if you send them education information, it's a disconnect. What you actually practically telling them, I have no idea. I'm just blasting emails, and I'm just blasting emails to everyone in my database, and hopefully this is going to work. And it doesn't work. There's a lot of thinking behind it. So identifying timeline is very, very important. Last by list, which I love, is measuring and improving. Whatever you're doing, make sure, because remember, we have a goal, but you have to measure and make sure if it's actually working. What are you trying to achieve? Was this educating them? Was this going to take them to the next stage? Was this for people who are already problem aware and solution aware, and they are actually they want more information to take that next step for them. So has that work? Did I provide, they were problem aware, solution aware, they knew my services is the best solution for their problem, but there is a couple of questions they needed to ask. If I answered those questions, out of that campaign, how many actually booked the time with me? How many actually bought this product with me? So it all depends, and it absolutely depends on your goals. So measuring and improving is one of the most important thing honestly, in any marketing effort that you put into your customer, to your business. So how do you know, you must be asking this question, how do you know when to nurture your leads versus your customers? So when nurturing your leads, these are the people that they don't know you, they're cold audiences. So after first conversion, for example, if they made a comment on your post, or if they downloaded something, if they land, in some cases, if you go deep, sometimes we'll advertise, we do retarget to people who actually land to the certain website, as a page in the website. Or after they downloaded the content or an offer, after they subscribe to your blog. This is also another way to look at it. After they requested a trial or demo, or their re-engagement, which is your retargeting. So when it comes to nurturing customers, remember, it's not just about the leads, it's your customers as well. So when it comes to the customers, I want you to separate them to the new customers and existing customers. So when it comes to nurturing new customers, it could be during onboarding. It could be products and service education. Let's say they bought something and they need a certain information coming into it. Facebook group is another ways that we actually recommend. I recommend for people to use as a nurturing to your new client when they buy a new product. If support resources, for example, if there is any, and what you're selling, and pro services recommendation. So when you're nurturing existing customers, you can always ask for referral. That's part of your nurturing as well. Re-engagement, which is your retargeting, feedback initiative, and renewals. These are very important. You cannot forget about your existing customers. It's a continuous effort between your new customers and your existing customers, and obviously your lead. All right, I think we're done. Before we get to the Q&A, please connect with me on, just wanted to put up the LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, however you want to connect with me. I am happy to connect with you guys, with the guys and girls. And all right, so now we get into the Q&A. I'm just gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna get to the screen. I hope I didn't make people tired. Is everyone awake?
There we
All
go.
right. You're awake. All right. Any questions? No?
No.
Any comments? Was there anything?
Yeah, hey, it's Mark here. I've got a question. At the start, you mentioned about making contact with people within sort of 5 minutes being the ideal time frame. Can you just explain a little bit more around the mechanics of that? Like, are you talking about somebody drops you their email address because they've registered to get an article or something? I mean, what can you just flesh it out a little bit more?
Sure.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So it actually applies to everything. It doesn't just, I've actually, this is obviously the study was done with HubSpot, and it's not just downloading anything. Anytime they connect with you in any type of way, if you get to them within 5 minutes, then the chances of them getting to the lead stages into your funnel 21 times more than if you wait to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and 24 hours, which is definite no. So that's where your automation comes in. Am I answering that question correctly, Mark? Am I understanding it?
Yeah, that's what I sort of thought you were getting at as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what HubSpot study have done, and to be honest with you, I have done it within. We have tested it with 30 days and 24 hours. It's something that it changes everyone's perception. I have done a lead ad through Messenger for an NDIS service provider. And if we didn't respond it to the clients, obviously within working hours, if we didn't respond it to the clients within 10 to 15 minutes, then they'd never replied to the messages. If we responded to them within 5 to 10 minutes, then we actually could move them into the sales funnels. One other thing I can recommend, obviously there has to be automation software. There's plenty of automation software available. MailChimp is another one, like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Drip, HubSpot is another one, obviously. So these are the automation softwares that, depending on your business you have, the service or product you provide, it's very important to have that in place. It's a great investment to have in your business. You'd be surprised how it's just not possible for you to be doing everything. It's not possible for you to do everything. And I can guarantee you one of the challenges that everybody has is when someone sends them a message on Facebook. How am I going to get back to them? How am I going to get back to them on time? There are so much tools available for you to start that conversation, and just keep them engaged. That's the most important part, is keeping your customers engaged with you most of the time. Does that answer your question, Ma?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. It opens up a few more questions, but I'll
That's
save them
okay.
for a second.
All right. I'm happy to answer the question. I'm here all night, all day and night.
Okay, I do have a quick follow-up question then, if I can sneak it in. So are you familiar with the tools that can automate LinkedIn? So if you're so for example, you put a post up on LinkedIn and then you get people perhaps inquiring some way through that post and firing off sort of an automated campaign around LinkedIn. Have you seen anything like that?
With the paid ads, yes, but with organic, there's still some rules applies with LinkedIn.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah, with the Facebook, like with the Messenger, and even on your website, there are some bots softwares that you can definitely utilize. You don't have to have a person to do that for you, but there are bots that you can utilize. LinkedIn's still a bit fussy at the moment. They just recently were happy for the automation software to even post anything because they hated it. They didn't want to do it. And then they realized their platform is such an important place for business owners. So they come around to do it, but it's with LinkedIn is a bit different. But when you're creating ads, it's different. With lead ads in LinkedIn, again, it's different from your organic posts.
Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry. Any more questions? Where was it helpful for you? Is there anywhere in this training that what you learned that you can actually utilize in your business?
Sorry, it's Mark again. I actually do have a few questions. So if that's okay.
Of course.
Yeah. So earlier you also diverted to a concept. I've just been driving, as you probably noticed, and so I wasn't able to note it down. But you diverted to a concept of, I think it was stages of a customer journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you just go through that again and just recap? Because it sounded really important, but then
sure, absolutely.
There was no slide.
So I'm just gonna keep it simple because you can actually go really, really deep. You can go to the point of saying there is a problem there, but they're not aware of the problem. So then you have to make them aware. But however, for the small businesses, you got to remember there is different stages, which is the awareness, engagement, consideration, and closing. So when you're starting, there are people who are aware of, let's say they're aware of what they need. There is interest, they're aware this is what they want to do, but they don't know that you have the solution for what they want. What you create is the campaign is creating an awareness campaign. Then it becomes creating an engagement campaign, then closing consideration and closing campaign. So wherever they are in your sales funnel, as in from awareness to engagement, consideration, and closing, you create content for where they are. One thing I suggest is don't concentrate too much on the closing stage when they are ready to buy now. From my experience, first of all, your cost for advertising, regardless of what it is, it's going to be higher because you're competing for that market. They're low-hanging fruit. But what I would suggest for you to do is when there is an awareness stage, you have a perfect solution for that problem, then what you do is you educate them, which is your awareness. Then they engage with you. Then because they're already aware of you, then you create different sort of content or different sort of campaign or different sort of email campaign for them. When they are ready and you think this group of people I've given them enough information, but they might have a couple of questions in order for them to become buying clients, then you create a different type of campaign, a different kind of post for them. When they become your clients, that you answer all their questions and they go, okay, so now I know who you are. I've engaged with you. I've engaged with you enough that you educated me that you do have the solution for what I need. But there's a couple of questions. So you answered my couple of questions. Now I'm going to buy from you. So when I buy from you, I still don't want you to stop thinking about me because there's One thing I learned long time ago, there are 3 ways that you can actually increase your business. Number 1, bringing more clients in, which we all do it, but it doesn't stop there. You want the clients repetitive business, like for them to buy more or to have an upsell. That's another way of putting it, have an upsell. If you don't have an upsell and you think it's only one, you want them to come back again. So these are all the nurturing campaigns that you can think about. It might be too much to think about, but honestly, it's actually very, very important for everybody to think about where they are, where the customers are in their journey. Because I can guarantee you, which they call them cold audience, there are audiences out there who don't know who you are, who don't know that your service or product is the best solution to their problem. So that's where you need to be understanding where they are in the funnel, in their own buyer's journey. Sorry, my mistake, not the funnel. In the buyer's journey, and then create a campaign, provide content for where they are there and then in their buyer's journey. Have I explained that correct? Like, does that make sense?
Good. Yep.
Oh, my
makes a lot of sense.
Hi, Kat here. Can I just ask a clarification question?
Sure.
Hear me? If I'm understanding it, you sort of listed the stages of the customer, so the awareness, engagement, consideration, closing, and you sort of put that under the umbrella of a sales funnel, but then you're sort of saying a sales funnel is something else. So can you give me an example of a sales funnel, or is that the sales funnel?
That's actually applies to both. Okay. So sales funnels, for example, that you will go to, so there's 2 different ways that we market. So the first one is a cold audience, or the second one, provided that, okay, so are you already existing business, Kat, or is that new?
Just starting out. So
just starting out. Okay. So for you that's starting out, the funnel will be very different from someone who's already in the business. So if you're just starting out, it means that we have to go to the cold audience, the audience that they don't know anything about you and they don't know that your services is the best solution for their problem. Yep. So when we're creating content, we're creating this campaign, or we're creating the content on social media or campaign that we're creating, we're targeting people who don't know that your service or your product is the best solution to their problem. The moment they land on, let's say you're creating a lead gen, which is printing a step-by-step or checklist. So we put them in front of a cold audience. The moment they land and they click and they download that free content, they move into your funnels. They're into your funnels. But when we're creating that content, we're considering where they are in their journey that we created that campaign or that content for.
Okay. Yep.
No?
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? We've still got 10 minutes.
Do you have any suggestions of where is sort of good to go to next to sort of to find out a bit more about this? I mean, there's billions of books and all kinds of things available, but is there anything that you have found has been really helpful to recommend?
Books. The books that I have, it's as to where, okay, so what are we going to learn? We're going to learn about the creating campaigns, or we're going to create funnels?
Probably the campaigns, I reckon.
The campaigns, we're talking about Facebook?
Right, okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know, so maybe it's all right.
Okay. Kat, what is your, do you have my email address?
Yes, I think it's
so what do you mind sending me an email, and then I can forward, I can think about this, because there are so many books that I read.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be too much at this stage. but because we want to keep it as simple as possible. For the Facebook though, if anybody using Facebook and Instagram, Facebook has great platform, training platform, and it's free. If you're a startup or even a small business, it's actually a free platform called, I'm going to put the link on the, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to Facebook Blueprint. And they do explain with the, especially local businesses or any kind of businesses, they do explain funnels and how to use Facebook. And you can actually use that with anything, because funnels and the sales journeys, that's been there for a very long time. When I started my first business back in 2001, we still had to learn about funnels. We had to learn about journeys and where they are, depending on what questions they were asking. So, but if you are, I'm just trying to find this Facebook Blueprint, so you can actually go in there and check. That's not it. There's so many people using that name. Okay. Okay, so this is the catalog. There's a list. This link goes to the catalog, which you can access all the training with Facebook and Instagram. There will be some targeting and some funnel building as well, which you can absolutely use for any other type of marketing, because the whole concept is exactly the same. And my email address, if you have my email address, Kat, just send me an email, and then I'll go and do some research for where to start with funnels.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Did you put the link up? Because we can't see it.
Oh.
I can only see you.
Oh, I can. I thought I'd send it to everybody. Hang on, we'll do it again.
No, maybe you sent it. I don't know. Where would you have sent it?
To the chat. So down there where it's got chat. It's
okay, yeah.
Do you see that?
I've just got, yeah.
Okay, that's the link.
Mine is empty. My chat is empty.
It is empty.
Yeah, it's empty.
There's nothing in it.
Okay, let's do that again. Oops. Hang on. Copy. All right. Now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the Facebook Blueprint, which has everything you need. Obviously, if you have any questions, it's very different when you're starting out, but I would 100% recommend for you to concentrate on this. It's free. They give you as much information as you need. If you get a chance, join the Facebook group that Business Station has. So I am hoping to go live every Monday afternoon, so we can answer your questions if you have any questions to do with this. But it's an amazing platform. And you can actually divide it into beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So you can take it as slow as fast as you want. And it's
So
great.
is your Facebook just called Business Station, if we look for it?
No, so there's a link to the group. Let me send you the link as well. The Facebook group for Business Station.
Yeah.
I'll just get you the link. All right, let me see. Oops. That's fantastic. I just closed my emails coming in. So the link to, there you go. So this is a link to the Facebook group that Business Station is running, and I'll be in there on Monday, next Monday. I think I'm going to be there 4:30, but join the group and ask questions there. I'll be live next Monday from, I think they're booking me in at 4:30 till 5 o'clock Perth time.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Of course. You can ask 2 questions.
Would this information change whether you're a service based or product based business?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. When you're a product-based business, there's the touch points are less, it depending on what you're selling. When we're talking about the B2B, like for example, for my services, when I do Facebook advertising and social media marketing, there is more touch points in order for people to become my customers. If you're selling a product, which is, let's say, gift boxes, there's not a lot of touch points. There's not a lot of convincing for them in order for them to take the next step and purchase that product. So that's what you're going to think about. Don't overcomplicate it. But you will know, and it comes with testing. I've been doing this for a long time, and one thing I learned is you can never say something doesn't work unless you test and try it. And testing obviously depends on the budget. So there's 2 things involved. It's either budget or time. If you do have a budget, testing can be faster. But if you're low on budget and you have to pay by time, then your testing might be a bit slower. But never, ever say it might not work unless you test it and test it again and again and again.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Any quick words on Pinterest?
If you are a product based, I know it's very big. I don't have a lot of experience with Pinterest, but if you were in US and you were selling products, I absolutely tell you, you have to consider it. Even in Australia, you can use it as well. There's not a problem. But I don't have a lot of experience, but I know it's very important. I've seen service providers use it. I've seen coaches using it as well. But for the product base is very important, very important.
Okay, thank you.
That's all right. But you have to make sure all of this, one thing I have to tell you, like for me is Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. But as a business owner, I want you don't have to be in all social media platforms. I want you to be in the one that your customers hang out for the beginning. The most important one is to find out where your customers hang out. Facebook always comes up because it's the biggest and the most powerful one. Neither of them have anything on Facebook if you compare the platform with Apple with Apple. Facebook's still one of the most important one and one of the biggest one. Obviously, they own Instagram. But when you're choosing on the social media platform to use, choose where your customers hang out and just go in 100% to get it right in that platform before you move to another platform. Because you don't want to be, you don't want to go in, I don't know the word, half-assed. This is my vocabulary.
Half-assed.
You want a full asset. You just want to make sure that you do it right and your customers love you for it in that platform. But even if you get it right and it's all, the engagement is high, you have your followers, you have people who love your product and love your service and love who you are, you still don't want to leave them. What you do is then you add that platform to what it is now. Don't go in wanting to do all of them. It's just not possible. It requires time, it requires resources, and all of this platform changing everything all the time. For me, I'm an expert right now with Facebook advertising and lead generation. If it comes tomorrow, they're going to change something and I've got to start all over again. I've got to learn. So there is so much to think about and so much to do. You want to be very strategic. Again, I love that word. You want to be very strategic where you hang out.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Selena? Carloon? Am I pronouncing that name correctly? Any questions?
What would be a good platform for my clients, like wineries and restaurants and corporate and so on?
Your Facebook and Instagram is very important because you are photo by, so there is a lot of photos for you. I want you to look at the Instagram. With the corporate, you can absolutely use LinkedIn as well, but you got to remember there's a human on the other side. It's not, it doesn't matter where they hang out. There's a human on the other side. And majority of people do hang out on Facebook. They might not tell you they hang out on Facebook, but they do hang out on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook didn't become $1 trillion business by just us saying, no, I don't like Facebook and I don't hang out on Facebook.
Well, that's what I have been doing. So that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Facebook and Instagram is really good.
Yeah.
And use Instagram as, I want you to look at Instagram, all of you, it doesn't matter what business, even if it's B2B, I want you to look at business Instagram as your glossy magazine. If you, I don't know, I don't want to say, I started when I was one, my business, when I was one. But we had glossy magazine for that particular business. So every page, which is every post of that, of your Instagram, is that page in that glossy magazine. So that's what you're going to think about. Facebook is where people hang out. They come and get to know you. It's like your shop that people hang out and you build a community. Same thing in Instagram, but look at Instagram as that glossy magazine, that every post you do is a page in that glossy magazine and goes back to the promise you do in your bio. It has to have something to do, again, back to the strategy. Every post you do has to be either entertaining, educational, inspirational, or it's going to be selling.
But only your friends can see your Instagram unless you advertise.
But as another page, don't you have a page? I'm talking about your business.
I do
page.
I have an Instagram page, yes. But now that doesn't go out to everybody, does it?
It's just followers. Your followers will see.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't got many followers because it's quite new. So, and my followers are my friends, and they're not going to use my product anyway. So
I know that always comes up, Jane. That's always comes up. No expectation. Like I've been doing that even with air conditioning business. Like I thought when I started back in 2001, that was my first business, and we've fixed fridges. You would think everybody has fridges, but I learned very long time that I have no expectation. It's all loving and no expectation. Yeah. So but build it up. Don't be afraid. If they don't like it, they don't have to follow you. They can go somewhere else. But there are people who actually will definitely refer you. It just takes time. As I said, it takes time. And if you can boost your post to get more reach, Facebook is the best option for you to do. Yeah. And keep talking about your Instagram or Facebook. If you're talking to someone and they want to know what you do and what you sell, and just send them to your Instagram page and say, please follow me. This is where I am. We will do that anyway. We like to know who you are before we buy anything. We're changing. There's the whole conversion has changed. It's not as streamlined as to you have to buy. They don't have to buy. They need to get to know you first before they buy. And it actually has it's not just for the small business. I worked in a multi-billion-dollar businesses, and even selling $1 million contracts, it all came down to the connection you had with the customer. Is that the connection you built with that customer? Because sometimes some of those businesses do not need to advertise, but it still came down to how you dealt with the customer, and if you looked after them. Because we're human at the end of the day. It might be a laptop, but there's a human on the other side. And that's all we have to think about. To be successful in social selling environment, we just have to remember there's a human on the other side. And what I actually have, it's going to help them achieve whatever it is. My apologies again. That's office ringing. Any other questions?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh, good. That's fantastic. All right. So if there is no questions of targeting corporate women who are moms to be for the first time, age 25 to 35, would it be more Instagram that they would hang out in rather than Facebook? No, both. You still definitely, that's a very good question. You still definitely need your Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. So when you're advertising, you still need to use Facebook, but I would 100% recommend Facebook and Instagram together. So I'm targeting corporate women who are moms to be. Are they going back to work? Is this something that they're going back to work that you can actually concentrate on LinkedIn as well? LinkedIn and Facebook worked very well together. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so just stick to Facebook then, because there's a lot of communities on Facebook for the for the new mom, for new parents. So hang out, definitely Facebook and Instagram then. Does that answer your question? More targeting pregnant before they become mums. That comes down to, you got to be very, very careful when you're targeting. It comes down to your content. Another thing I would recommend for everyone to do is just to be familiar with the Facebook ads policy. There's no-nos, there's some stuff that they do not like you to call people as a pregnant woman or something, but if there's a different copy, different wording you need to use. But for what I'm hearing is I would definitely recommend Facebook and Instagram. If you can concentrate on one, Facebook is your platform. Are you starting out or this is new? You're welcome. You said it was new. Have you created your page yet or not yet? Oh, so you're looking to launch. Sorry, I must have missed that from your first message. Okay. All right. Exciting time. So there are businesses like Business Development Corporation. I would 100% recommend to get on their website. There's a lot of helps available when you're starting a business. Business Station themselves have incubators, which you can actually come and talk to the advisors to help you start in the right way and make sure that you have everything in place before you launch. So there are plenty of support out there for you, and congratulations. It's exciting. All right. Selena, you're okay? You don't have to. Thanks to this new business, but will be my fifth. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I've got a third business, and oh, good. That's great, Selena. It's all great. It's all new stuff happening, but that's good. As long as you know that there is plenty of there's plenty of resources available for you to get you started on the right track. You don't want to do it alone. It could be lonely sometimes, but yeah, that's exciting. All right, everyone, it was a pleasure meeting you. Don't forget to connect with me on social media, and don't forget to join Facebook in Business Station Facebook group. Yeah, and send me a message if there is anything, and looking forward to catching up with you next time. If everything is all good, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you. No worries. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.